Hey everybody, Roxbox90 here, back with some more Huey block speculation. So for those who don't know, Huey, Dewey, Louie is going to be the three code names for the fall 2014, spring 2015, and I guess winter 2015 block. And we don't really know a lot about it yet, although we were already told by Mark Rosewater it's going to be a bottom-up design. So let's jump into the speculation today and see what's going on. The person asks, can you tell us if Huey, Dewey, Louie is thematic block or mechanics block, which basically means is it top down or bottom up, or is it a combination of the two? And top down would be like Theros, where the set is designed for the story first and mechanics second, and the mechanics themselves even have to reflect the theme. So they may not be in and of themselves great and designed specifically for that, but mostly for the story. Mechanics is more up or bottom up, and we'll get to the example of that in a second. But like Innistrad Theros, where thematic, while Ravnica was built around the mechanic of two color, not the best example, but that's in shorthand. And Mark Rosewater said, I can only restate what's already been said because it's too early to talk. We'll probably hear about it late spring. It's a new plane. It's a bottom up. Oh, whoa. It's a new plane. That's important. We'll get to that in a second. It's bottom up design, which we knew about, but I'll just clarify more about what we're looking for there. And there's something special about the block structure. We're all going to like it, but we don't know what it is, and he won't say anymore. Something special about the block structures. The only thing I can think of for block structure at first was the size. Because we've had in the past, the standard model is the first set is big, and the next two sets are small. Then, which is what's going on right now, basically, with Theros. There's also Return to Ravnica had big, big, small, where Return to Ravnica and Gatecrash were big and Dragon Face was small. Big, small, big. So the first set is big, the second one is small, the last is big. Zendikar did that, and Innistrad did that, where for Zendikar, for example, we had Zendikar was big, World Big was small, and then the final set was the one from the Eldrazi, Rise of the Eldrazi. Then you also have a 2 to 4 of set, which was Lorwyn and Shadowmoor, Morningtide and Eveningtide. They were really weird because they were technically two blocks, even though they were all in the set in the same plane and had the same flavor, so and same general design. So that was kind of weird. It's a big and then a small and then a big and a small, but it's a 4-block design. I don't think they're doing that here. That's really weird, and it kind of screws up things with standard and drafting. Or small, 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 which is very unlikely because it's very hard to draft when all the sets are small. Which means there's really only two possibilities for size. It's either it's going to be big, 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 where all three sets are going to be big sets, which is really ambitious because it's difficult to make something of that size be consistent and qualitative. But it also could be good because a lot of small sets are often terrible in retrospect. So, for example, Dragon's Maze, not the greatest set, and the only card in the long run at this moment that's going to be really worth money is Voice of Resurgence, which means Voice is going to be worth a lot more money than it would be because it's a small set. Fewer people are opening it. There's less stuff people want, and in the long run, chances are it's going to be one of the sets that you only open up for 1 or 2 or 3 cards. World Wake is another one like this. The set itself overall is not amazing. There's some decent cards, but overall not amazing. But everyone wants to open it now, and it's expensive because of Jace. So small sets are not necessarily the greatest. I don't like them. Dark Ascension, for example, only has also like 3-4 good cards, and the rest of the set's kind of junk. But it's a small set. So yeah, that seems to be a consistent theme. So it could be big, 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 which would kind of hopefully remove that issue from the block by getting rid of the 1 to 5 good cards in a small set. Instead of making a big set, you have to have a greater variety. It also could be overly ambitious and cause problems. I'm not really sure. But if Marrow doesn't mean the size of the block, and he said it's a new plane, then I have some other ideas. So if it's a new plane, it could mean that we're going to go back to Dominaria, which Mark Rosewater has said we will do at some point. Dominaria is, for old players, one of the most consistent, awesome story arcs. It's kind of like 7 planes in one. Odyssey happened in a completely different continent than did the Phyrexian Invasion story, even though technically they're connected, but they happened kind of differently. Time Spiral also happened in Dominaria, but happened different places. And so it really, there's a lot going on in Dominaria. So it could mean that we're going back to Dominaria, but we're going back to a new area of Dominaria, which we haven't touched before, which would mean technically a new plane. He could mean that. Better yet is that he's talking about if we're going to put the two together and say it's going to be a new, something new, like he says here, something special about the structure, but it's also going to be bottom up. Maybe it's going to be something where, like Legions was all creatures, or Time Spiral had time shifted cards in it. So maybe it'll be something like where they have, obviously not one set with all creatures, but maybe the block itself, the structure, will not be consistent. Maybe like each set will have different variants of the colors, like the Torment block did, but maybe better, where Torment had a lot more black cards in one set than they did in another set, which can create an imbalance. That's why it didn't work out so well, but for flavor-wise, it could be good. Yet we know it's bottom-up mechanics, so it's not going to be done for flavor. So maybe it'll be something along the lines of Legions. I don't know what it would be. Maybe you guys can put your thoughts about it down below. But if it's something like an all-creature set, and then maybe a spell-heavy set, and then a set-heavy, I don't know, something like that, that would be really weird and different. It could also mean the number of, maybe, the number of cards, like, there are usually a certain number of creatures we expect, a certain number of each color, a certain number of sorceries we expect from each color. Maybe they're going to throw those imbalances like into crazy, like make something where we've already done the more multicolor, we've done the more artifact. Maybe we can do the more central color, where we have very few multicolor, very few artifacts, and be much more single color based. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what they do with that. And just, we'll clarify one more time, bottom-up design versus the Theros, which you come to expect, because Theros and Innistrad not so much, but both of them did a lot more flavor focus. This cycle from Shadowmoor, these Mossridge Troll, Nullspine Dragon, Hollowborn, these are just random monsters, and they have no flavor to them, really, but their mechanics are really weird and interesting. And that's pretty much bottom-up design. Mechanics are cool, and the power toughness, the mana cost, that's the focus, not on what the creature is, what its name is, where it fits in the story. So that's more bottom-up mechanics, so we're kind of expecting something more along those lines. They try to merge them together generally, but if it's bottom-up mechanics, that's what it's going to be. So sorry the speculation ran out a little bit long. You could go on and on about what a new plane it will be. I'm hoping for a new plane within Dominaria, just because I'm an old player, but it could be completely new, and which means we have nothing. We don't know anything what it would be. The bottom-up design we know about, and the special block structure is really weird. It could mean that the sets are going to be 3 big sets, which would be, I think, a first, and it would be really interesting to see how ambitious that plays off. Or it could be something weird like we said with Legions or Time Spiral. So let me know your thoughts about that down below in the comment section. If you have any speculations, put them down there. If you enjoyed the video, tap the like button. If you're new to the channel, check in and subscribe. As always, Roxybox90 signing out. I'll see you guys next time.